From Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Saamiyah Syed. Our top story tonight. A new study has found that the 4th of July is the riskiest day for mass shootings in the United States. It found that there have been 52 mass shootings on the 4th of July in the past decade, an average of just over 5 per year. The study was conducted by Northeastern College criminologist James Allen Fox. He attributes the high number of mass shootings on the 4th of July to a number of factors. These include the large number of people who gather in public places to celebrate, the availability of guns, and the increased risk of alcohol-related violence. The study also found that mass shootings on this date are more likely to occur in low-income neighborhoods. The study's findings come at a time when the U.S. is experiencing a surge in gun violence. Last year, there were more than 600 mass shootings across the country, according to the Gun Violence Archive. President Joe Biden is calling for stronger gun control measures after 3 mass shootings took place over the weekend. There were at least 10 people killed in Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Fort Worth, Texas. In a statement released by the White House, Biden says gun violence is tearing our communities apart, and much more action is needed to address the problem. He called on Republican lawmakers in Congress to negotiate with Democrats on gun reforms. Biden has made similar pleas before, but gun control measures have been blocked by Republicans in Congress. He suggested a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, universal background checks, and safe storage requirements for guns. There have been over 340 mass shootings so far this year, according to the Gun Violence Archive. The Council on American Islamic Relations has expressed shock at the listing of Muslims in secret surveillance by the FBI. A recent report revealed that a number of Muslims have been under surveillance since the terrorist attacks of September 11th in 2001. The FBI has monitored Muslims through electronic tracking and placed spies in Muslim communities. People on the watch list face a number of problems, including travel restrictions, immigration problems, meetings with the FBI, and restricted access to government buildings. Speaking to Türkiye's Anadolu news agency, Kadir Abbas, a senior lawyer at CARE, says there is no legal basis for profiling Muslims. But he notes that Muslims are monitored at 2,500 mosques in the U.S. He adds that Muslims have been considered a threat under Presidents George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and Joe Biden. In related news, the disproportionate number of Muslims on the FBI watch list and no-fly list has affected the lives of many. More than 98% on the watch list and 99% on the no-fly list are Muslims. Mayor Mohammed Khairullah, who was denied entry to the White House despite an invitation earlier this year, is calling for urgent reform of the watch list system. Khairullah is the mayor of Borough of Prospect Park in New Jersey. He stresses the need for transparency and the ability to oppose being placed on the watch list. Khairullah says the FBI tried to force him to become an informer in his own community. A report by CARE has found that the FBI disproportionately targets Muslims. This is even though white supremacists are considered the main threat to national security. Both Khairullah and the CARE report warn that the next targets on the FBI's watch list could be fellow Americans as the focus shifts. The CARE report mentions the case of Osama Ahmed, an 18-year-old U.S. citizen. After returning from Yemen, he was arrested and forced to work as an informant there. A federal judge is pushing back against Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' efforts attacking voting rights in the states by targeting voter registration organizations. U.S. District Judge Mark Walker says a provision barring non-citizens from collecting voter registration applications, as well as a provision mandating that such groups store applicant information, were unconstitutional. The law, signed by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis in May, was challenged by several groups, including the Hispanic Federation and the American Civil Liberties Union of Florida. The law provided for a $50,000 fine, even if the non-citizen individuals collecting voter registration applications were legally allowed to work in the United States. In a ruling released Monday, U.S. Chief District Judge Mark Walker called the law Florida's latest attack on voting rights. The ruling is a major setback for DeSantis, who has made voter suppression a priority in his administration. In addition to the law that was blocked Monday, DeSantis has also signed other measures that make voting more difficult. That includes a law requiring voters to present a photo when casting a ballot ID. Florida's ACLU has announced that it will challenge these other laws in court as well. A federal judge has ruled that Starbucks violated labor law by firing 4 Pittsburgh workers who had formed a union. In a 50-page ruling, Judge Robert Ringler found that Starbucks followed a pattern of unlawful activity against the workers. Ringler ordered Starbucks to reinstate the 4 workers and compensate them for all lost wages. He also ordered the company to cease and desist all further anti-union activity. The ruling is a major victory for Starbucks Workers United, the union that seeks to organize Starbucks stores across the country. The union has filed numerous complaints against Starbucks with the National Labor Relations Board, accusing the company of illegal anti-union activity. In a statement, Starbucks Workers United said the ruling exposes the ridiculous and simply implausible excuses Starbucks uses to justify its anti-union actions. Starbucks has denied the union busting allegations and said it is committed to working with its employees to create a positive and welcoming workplace. A story on the rising Palestinian death toll after an incursion in the city of Jenin comes with details after the break, so stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Israel has killed at least 11 Palestinians as the death toll from its incursion into the Palestinian city of Jenin in the West Bank rises. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry, the latest victim was a 23-year-old man killed on Tuesday. Thousands of people have been evacuated from the Jenin refugee camp where the incursion is taking place. According to residents, Israeli bulldozers razed most of the roads surrounding the camp. The camp has also been cut off from basic services, including water and electricity, and Israeli forces have entered homes and made arrests. The Israeli army claims it is targeting Palestinian militants in the camp. The operation is the largest in the West Bank in years and has drawn international condemnation. The Israeli government says it will not stop until its security objectives are met. In related news, a Palestinian man reportedly plowed his pickup truck into a group of people on a sidewalk in the Israeli capital Tel Aviv on Tuesday afternoon. He also stabbed a passerby. 4 of the victims were in serious and moderate condition. The man was shot dead by an armed civilian. According to Israel's Shin Bet security agency, the attacker was Abed al-Wahab Halayla from the West Bank town of As-Samu. The Palestinian resistance group Hamas says the attack was in response to the Israeli operation in the occupied West Bank. The United Nations is currently mediating between Lebanon and Israel over Hezbollah's deployment of 2 tents along disputed borders. Mohammed Rad, Hezbollah's leader, claims the tents were on Lebanese territory. Israel filed a complaint with the UN in June, claiming the tents were within Israeli borders. The tents are located in an area Israel captured from Syria during the 1967 war. Lebanon, however, still claims these areas. In 2006, Hezbollah and Israel were involved in a month-long conflict that ended with a UN-brokered ceasefire. Egypt and Türkiye have announced they will reinstate their ambassadors. A joint statement on Tuesday says both countries are determined to improve their bilateral relations. Türkiye has opposed the move by the Egyptian military to oust President Mohamed Morsi in 2013. That action had been met with widespread protests in Cairo. According to the statement, Saleh Mohlushen has been appointed as Turkey's ambassador in Cairo. Amr al-Hamami will assume the role of Egyptian ambassador to Ankara. The improvement in relations between Egypt and Türkiye is part of Türkiye's strategic efforts to rebuild its ties with countries in the region. Iran has become a full member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The SCO is a Eurasian political, economic, and security alliance established in 2001. Some analysts see it as a potential counterweight to the US-led NATO. Its goals include promoting regional security and stability, combating terrorism and extremism, and fostering economic cooperation. The SCO's current members include China, Russia, Uzbekistan, India, and Pakistan. It has a total population of over 1.5 billion people and a GDP of over $25 trillion. Experts believe that Iran's membership could help stabilize the region and promote economic cooperation. The SCO has grown in recent years, and Iran's membership is seen as another sign of the organization's growing influence in the Central Asia and beyond. After 4 years in limbo, India's Supreme Court has announced it will hear petitions against the annexation of the Muslim-majority state of Jammu and Kashmir. In August 2019, India had suspended a constitutional provision that guaranteed Kashmir special status and its own citizenship rights. It also divided the state into 2 centrally administered areas. A 5-member constitution bench of the Supreme Court will hear a series of 23 petitions challenging the revocation of special status. The court will convene July 11th to hear the petitions. The petitioners claim the move was unilateral and did not have the consent of the people or the local assembly. The petitions had been waiting for 4 years to be added to the list. Local political parties have welcomed the decision. Former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Mehbooba Mufti, says she hopes justice will be done for the people. Another former Prime Minister, Omar Abdullah, says he looks forward to the hearings now beginning in earnest. A group of lawyers claim they have found credible evidence of the unlawful killing of 80 Afghan civilians by British Special Air Service soldiers. The murders took place between 2010 and 2013 in Afghanistan. The lawyers claim that during that time, there were at least 30 suspicious incidents in which more than 80 Afghans were killed. They argue that these deaths were not the result of lawful combat, but the result of unlawful killings by SAS soldiers. They also cite concerns raised by senior army officers in emails from that period, including a warning that there appears to be a casual disregard for life. According to the British newspaper The Guardian, the lawyers allege that a SAS soldier personally killed 35 Afghans during a single 6-month deployment. A public inquiry is due to begin in the fall. The Ministry of Defense has requested that large parts of the inquiry be kept secret. However, this is being contested by media organizations. That's all from our Toronto studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit muslimnetwork.tv. Assalamu alaikum and good night.